Hey guys, it's Vernie here. Another Tuesday, another Vault video. This is going to be Season 4, Week 3. And just looking at what we did last week, we accomplished a good bit, primarily focusing on our healers, because that's what we're looking at playing in the War Within, so we're just kind of rounding those out, getting those geared, just getting used to their playstyles again after a long break from them. We did drop the mage. I think eventually we'll work the mage back in, probably get the monk. Monk is like the least likely healer I am to play, but that's fine. So, go ahead and get started. We ended up doing 4 dungeons on every character just because it was the weekly. If you did 4 of any dungeon, including Mythic Zero, then you got 2 bullion, which gives you a free purchase, which is perfect because then you can pick any raid trinket or weapon. So we definitely took advantage of that. I don't think we've purchased bullion items on most of the alts, but depending on what we get from the vault, we will probably get something this week. So, starting with the priest, I did 1-8, and then I did a bunch of worm shitter crests with alts. So the 8 was not too bad. I think it was Ruby. This character hasn't really improved at all since Season 3. We did get a weapon from one of our 2s, so that was nice. I don't even know what we're looking for, honestly. Pretty much anything. We don't have any tier. We have like nothing on this character, so realistically anything could be an upgrade. 519 gloves, crit verse. Those are terrible stats for every spec, but we can catalyze them, so obviously we're going to take the myth tier. Or soon to be myth tier, rather. They will be myth. So hey, could be worse. Unfortunately, we're going to have to drop our 4-piece at some point, so I don't know how that's going to work, considering I don't have anything else to catalyze, so we'll just hold on to it for now, but pretty good piece. And next, we're going to go to the Evoker. Evoker just did 4 dungeons, 4 8s, so we'll have 2 myth dungeon pieces to look at. We got a myth weapon last week, which is pretty nice. I mean, this character doesn't have the legendary. I'm not planning on farming the legendary, so we just have to take what we're given, kind of. I probably should have taken it to a raid, but I didn't feel like it. And then we ended up buying Ominous Chromatic Essence with our first set of bullions. So those are already gone. I mean, what are we hoping for? Probably myth tier again. Do we even have other pieces to catalyze? We have legs, we have shoulders. So we'd like to see something that's not that. Helm, chest, or gloves would be perfect. Opening is devastation. Another fucking weapon, dude. How many myth weapons can we get? A crit versus belt? I mean, the stats are awful on that. But it's 30 item levels. I feel like we have to take it. Like, that's three weeks of vaults, and in every single one we've had a weapon. The first week we had a hero sword, 515. Last week we had the 519 myth staff, and then now we have another 519 myth sword. Like, is this character going to get all the weapons and nothing else? Or 493 on this. Not too bad. It's going to take some time without raid, so not super worried about it. All right, next is the Druid. So the Druid went to raid again this week just because our tanks are still out. So we did 4 dungeons, all 8s. Pretty easy to steamroll them with a group who semi knows what they're doing. There are 2 myth dungeon slots. We did a full heroic clear, and then 4 bosses in mythic Amirdrasil. So we'll have 2 myth raid slots and 1 hero raid slot. Now we have a 528 weapon. We have a 528 trinket. We have multiple other trinkets that we can upgrade to 528. We've got Serpent Idol and the Dread Plate, which is actually pretty good. They buffed it a lot. We have a Myth Belt. We have maxed Ring Embellishment and a Lariat. So really, I think we go Boomkin, honestly, and just roll for healers slash DPS gear. We have 5 bullions. So we can buy 2 items. I have no idea what I'm going to buy yet. Probably a Boomkin trinket. Maybe like the Aranog or the Broodkeeper ring. Undecided. So really we'd like to see, like, I guess a Boomkin weapon or any kind of myth tier here would be solid. Okay, well there is a myth weapon. Mastery crit. It's not terrible. It is a one-hander, which we don't like to see. Ideally, I think we would just buy a two-hander. Or if we were going to do a one-hander, we would buy Vakash. So there's a chance we don't take this. Ooh, the chest is pretty nice. Myth chest. Myth versus crit ring. Not good stats for any of the specs, really. I don't think I'll be taking that. Ooh, a myth helm as well. Oh, but we lose a socket. And we have a hero boomkin weapon, so we don't need this. And I think I'm less likely to take this because I can take a Vakash and completely upgrade it because I already have a 528. I think we're taking the myth chest. I think that makes the most sense, right? We didn't take a chest or anything. Nothing to catalyze. No. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, chest it is. 4 item levels is not super exciting, but we'll be able to upgrade it a bunch. I think we do have Aspect Crest, so we can actually upgrade this all the way to 528. So we'll probably do that. Honestly, not bad. 515. This character's decently geared. All right, next we got the Shaman. The Shaman is like a carbon copy of the Druid. 4 8 mythic dungeons. So, sorry, 4 8s, I should say. So 2 myth dungeon slots, a heroic clear, and 4 mythic raid bosses. Unfortunately, because we were on the Druid instead of the Shaman for raid, we did miss out on a myth Thorncaller drop, which that kind of sucked because that I think went to transmog or like off spec. So ultimately, that's what we really want. We want a myth Thorncaller Claw. We want a chromatic essence. We want the Broodkeeper ring, Seal of Filial Duty. It's kind of it. So we are going to open as enhanced for the chance at the Thorncaller. If not, we'll probably end up using Bullion on it. Okay, well, nothing exciting here, really. Crit versus neck, terrible stats. Really don't want that. Myth shoulders, like decent. Ooh, Crit Mastery gloves. These are actually really good. Replaces a hero item. They're almost maxed myth, and they have pretty good stats. We really need more mastery right now. Haze Crit Belt, that's where our embellish is, so we won't bother with that. And that is a Hero Trek gloves. We don't need that. I think we're taking the gloves. I think I'd rather have the gloves. So, not super exciting. Kind of unfortunate. We're going to have to buy the Thorn Collar and just level it. We did expect that eventually. A little unlucky we had the tank, but it is what it is. 516, pretty decent. Maybe we can swap out some better stats somewhere. We do have shoulders we could swap out. Crit haste for verse crit. I mean, it's not great. They're higher item level. Okay, well, we'll figure that out. We do have some aspect crest left. All right, and lastly is the Paladin. The Paladin did a bunch of dungeons, a bunch of 10s. I did a 13, which we barely missed timing by like 20 seconds, so that was a little disappointing. Maybe we'll push some actual keys this week. I think it's Fortified, Afflicted, Raging, so it's not amazing, but it's not the worst. So we might try and do that. And then we did a full heroic clear, 6 bosses in Mythic, I believe. No, 4 bosses in Mythic, so I think it's another 2-slot Myth raid, 1 heroic raid, and then 4 or 3 Myth dungeon items. In terms of what we want, we bought the Chromatic Essence with Bullion. I guess a Myth weapon would be solid. Honestly, like Vakash would be pretty decent. Myth Dragon Scale from Kazara. Myth Rashax. If there was some really nasty Crit Mastery ring, like from Algathar, I'd probably take that. Barring that, it's just a couple tier pieces. We will open as Holy for the chance at a weapon or shield. Hopefully we don't get terrible trinkets. You hate to see the slots wasted on healing trinkets. Oh, dude, like just like that. Like, look at this. Garbage. Absolute garbage. I think this is still trash. There's no way we can take that. So our Bullion is going to be used on a trinket most likely. Myth Weapon, Haste Verse. Again. Myth Belt, sorry. Did I say weapon? Myth Belt. That's not great. Crit verse Boots, but I would be giving up Leech. Probably not worth. Myth Bracers were our embellishes. A verse crit ring, which is not ideal stats. It is a high item level. Or Hero Helm. Okay, we can't take the helm. I mean, we're pretty overloaded on crit. We could sacrifice a crit mastery ring for this verse crit one. Be losing some mastery, losing a decent amount of crit. Or I could swap out this haste crit one. Honestly, I think the ring is going to be better. I don't want to drop the leech. The belt is like so small of an upgrade, and I lose a socket, which is not great. I almost think I'd rather just take this, and then I could craft a ring next week potentially. Man, that's so boring though. Holy fuck, that's so boring. Mm, I think we are gonna do that, and then I'm gonna end up buying the dragon scale from the bullion purchases. So we'll take the ring again. Not super excited about it. It's not amazing. It's okay for ret. It's pretty mid for holy, but it's a large item level upgrade. And our stats, we have a lot of crit, so we can afford to sack some. Like we don't really want to lose the mastery though. Do we drop the haste instead? I'll have to sim it. I have a feeling dropping the haste is probably better, but we have so much crit. Okay, well, we'll sim it before raid. Anyway, hope you all had some good vaults. I appreciate you checking out the channel. I'll be streaming again on Twitch, twitch.tv/Veronix. At least 4 or 5 days this week, so feel free to check us out. And we'll see you next time. Peace.